Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about an opportunity that might be missed by most people right now. So we hear things in the news like stocks are at all-time highs, Bitcoin is at all-time highs, is it time to invest in these assets? But one of the things we miss as investors is we tend to pay attention to assets when they're already risen, when they're already popular, when everybody is already buying into them. But what if we what if we paid attention to asset classes when they were down? So similar to what happened to stocks in 2022, stocks were down big in 2022. They lost about 30%. So what if we had paid attention to them back then and gotten into them? We'd be up over 20% right now. So one of the biggest opportunities, and I just want to caution you here before we start, is that this is purely my opinion. This is purely speculation. I am a professional investor. This is what I do for a living. So this is just kind of an observation and a theory that I have. But one of the biggest opportunities I think is that's out there that we're missing is marijuana stocks. Have you heard anything in the news lately about marijuana stocks? It's been crickets for years, really, about marijuana stocks. I want to pull up here on this chart one of the ETFs that invest in marijuana stocks, YOLO. What an appropriately funny name for a cannabis ETF. But this thing for years has been getting kicked in the face. Look at that. 2021 is when it hit its little high there of $27, and it has been going down since. And we haven't had any kind of speculation about the marijuana industry. No one's talking about it. There's no proposed legislation. Nothing's going on. So the sector's been very quiet. But what's going to happen when, the next piece of legislation comes around? They start talking about legalizing marijuana at the federal level here in the United States. What's going to happen? The price is going to shoot up. Not just this. I'm not promoting this ETF here in particular. This is one of the ones that I had known about. Let me pull up a different ETF just to kind of go over this here. And we had pulled up a 5-year chart of the previous ETF. We're pulling up a 5 chart of a different ETF, and it's the same story, right? 2021, it hit a little bit of a high there, and after that, it got kicked right in the teeth. In fact, it looks like its teeth are completely missing. This thing needs dentures and a root canal, apparently. But what stocks does this hold in here? So this ETF in particular holds some of the ones you may have heard about. I know I've heard of Tilray before. That's probably one of the most popular ones out there. Kronos Group, Sundial, Canopy Growth Corporation. I've heard of all of these before. So should you invest in these particular companies? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? The speculation here is that, if our next president comes in and decides to legalize marijuana at the federal level, these companies that are, have been kicked in the teeth for years are going to explode in value. Let's take a look at the 5-year chart for Tilray, for example. I know they have even longer than that. Look at what happened back in 2018. I remember that because I was fresh in the industry, and marijuana stocks were getting talked about a lot in 2018. These prices were ridiculous. I mean, look at the price of Tilray, $143, and from then it's only fallen. That is insane. However, the speculation here, I'm going to keep saying that word, speculation, right? Because I don't know what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. But if, let's say, they did propose legalization at the federal level, then I think that these stocks would explode in price. So, what would end up happening there is that these are opportunities that we miss because we're only paying attention to what the major headlines are, right? Bitcoin is at all-time highs. The stock market is at all-time highs. But we're missing other assets that are really down right now. I don't think marijuana stocks are going to go away. I don't think we're going to go backwards on this where the federal government says, you know what? No, we cannot allow this to keep going. We're going to shut everything down and then just completely shut the industry down. There's a lot of lobbyist groups out there talking to politicians and having them vouch for them on Capitol Hill. So there's groups out there that represent these companies and are trying to get legislation passed. That is a fact. That's not speculation. But nothing in this video is to be taken as a recommendation. I'm not telling you that right now you should be getting into marijuana stocks. What I am saying is that we should try to pay attention to things that aren't being talked about on the news, right? What's not popular right now? Things that aren't popular right now become popular later on. These things are cycles, right? So right now we're in a cycle, at least in the marijuana sector, where no one's talking about it. Nobody cares. But eventually there'll be a day where it's getting talked about a lot again. Prices can go up because of that, and that might be something that helps you out. All right, let's look at Canopy Growth Corporation. Again, I don't own any of these marijuana stocks, by the way. I don't have that kind of money to just be throwing into random marijuana stocks. However, if I did, then I probably would be buying some of these at least, just to be in the sector. I'm not in the sector right now. I'm more of a broad diversification guy, so I love investing in the S&P 500, and I like the broad diversification. I don't spend, I do this for a living, but I don't spend all day analyzing individual securities. But again, Canopy Growth Corporation, look at the chart. All these charts are identical. They have their waves where, things start getting talked about and the price goes up. People forget about it and the price starts going down, as you could see. Right now it's at around $3.08. Is something going to happen? Is there going to be news coming out that will cause it to go up in price? Who knows, right? All I know is that prices are down right now. And when prices are down, especially with houses, we're all waiting for a housing bubble to collapse in order to buy a house. I know I'm a millennial. I have a house, but I'd love to buy another house if I could. We're all, looking for opportunities to invest. So this is just something I was, discussing with my fellow advisors, and they kind of agreed. Hey, people aren't paying attention to some of these sectors that are down right now. So when no one's looking at it, Warren Buffett would actually do that, right? He'd go and look for companies that were beaten down. You try to find some value in them, right? See if there's something about them that made it attractive as a long-term investment. I don't know between right now and when marijuana becomes legalized, which of these companies is actually going to make it. That's something that I don't know. And that's why I advocate more of a diversified approach through ETFs. So I had shown you two ETFs, but I encourage you to do your own research. Like I said, I don't own those ETFs. I can't recommend them to you, but all I did was pull up two ETFs that invest in different marijuana companies. So at least with an ETF, if some of those companies do go bankrupt, do go out of business, get acquired by other firms, at least you'll still have exposure to that industry. Now, if you want to, do the lottery ticket approach and, buy some of these companies and invest money into them, that's on you. I can't help you with that. But some people do that. Some people win the lottery sometimes. It happens. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I just wanted to bring attention to a potential opportunity that might be overlooked right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, got some value out of this video. Please hit that subscribe and like button. It really helps the channel get our message out there. And we'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.